All right, so today we're going to dive into something called XEN. It's this pretty wild crypto experiment that basically wants to hit the reset button on the whole industry. The mission here? To get back to what blockchain was supposed to be about, a universal cryptocurrency, built by and for everyone. So, to really wrap your head around Zen, you've got to understand the problem it's trying to fix. And look, if you've been in the crypto space for any amount of time, this quote right here probably feels a little too familiar. It's that classic story, right? A project gets a ton of hype, the price shoots up, and then bam, the early insiders cash out, leaving pretty much everyone else holding the bag. So, what is this problem exactly? The project's own documents call it crypto's frustrating cycle. And it's this pattern where, honestly, a lot of people feel like the game is rigged from the very beginning. The insiders seem to extract most of the value before the public even gets a real shot at participating. Okay, so to fight back against this cycle, Zen proposes an antidote, the fair launch. Now, this isn't just some small tweak to how they distribute tokens. No, it's a complete rethinking of how a cryptocurrency should even come into existence. The whole point is to level the playing field right from day one. And when you put them side by side, the difference is, well, it's stark. A typical launch, you've got pre-mined tokens for the founders, you've got special backroom deals for venture capitalists, and you've got admin keys that give a central team total control. Zen just throws all of that out the window. It starts with a supply of zero, no pre-mine, no VC deals, and absolutely, positively no admin keys. But wait a second. That raises a really important question, right? If there's no initial supply and there's no companies selling the tokens, where in the world do they even come from? Well, the answer is in how these coins are actually made, and it's a pretty unique process. The whole system is built on this idea they call proof of participation. Now, you've probably heard of Bitcoin's proof of work, which needs a ton of computing power, or proof of stake, which needs a bunch of capital. This is different. You don't need a supercomputer, you don't need a pile of cash. The only investment required here is your time and commitment. And for you, the user, the process is actually incredibly simple. Step 1, you connect your crypto wallet. That's it. That claims your unique rank, kind of like getting a number in a giant global line. Step 2, you choose how long you're willing to wait. Could be a day, could be hundreds of days, it's your call. And finally, step 3, once your time is up, you pay the network gas fee, and boom, brand new XEN tokens are minted directly into your wallet. So you might be wondering, how much XN do I actually get? Well, it isn't random. The whole system is designed to reward two key things: getting in early and committing for the long haul. See, as more and more people join, the algorithm adjusts, and it actually makes it harder to mint large amounts. This whole setup is meant to favor the long-term believers, not just the people with the deepest pockets. What this all creates is this really interesting, constant economic tug of war. On one side, you've got inflationary pressure. Why? Because anyone can mint new Zen literally at any time, which increases the supply. But on the other side, you've got deflationary pressure. To use special features in the Zen ecosystem, you actually have to burn or permanently destroy your Zen, and those tokens are then gone from circulation forever. And this brings us right to the core conflict, doesn't it? Idealism versus volatility. What actually happens when this completely hands-off, super fair launch philosophy crashes into the chaotic, messy reality of the open market? Well, the consequences become very, very clear. And yeah, here's the other side of that coin. We looked at some forecasting models, and they project the potential for some extreme short-term drops. For instance, one model, looking ahead from March 2026, predicted a potential drop of over 35% in just 5 days. That really highlights the kind of wild volatility you can get when there's no central team trying to manage the price. But then, and this is where it gets crazy, you flip to the long-term view, and that very same model forecasts a staggering potential gain of over 2,700%. That kind of whiplash-inducing swing is a direct result of this fair launch idea. The market is just left completely on its own to figure out the price, for better or for worse. If we dig into that model's timeline, it projects a pretty slow and steady climb at first. We're talking a potential 76% gain by late 2026 and maybe around 143% by 2030. But then the forecast suggests this massive acceleration in the later decades, jumping to over 500% by 2040 and then hitting that mind-boggling 2,700% prediction by 2050. Okay, now we have to be absolutely crystal clear about this, and the sources themselves say it, so listen up. This is not investment advice. Seriously, these numbers are just the output of a forecasting model, and they're for informational purposes only. You should always talk to a professional financial advisor before you make any decisions. Please. So, where does all this leave us? Well, it brings us right back to the core question at the very heart of the XEN experiment. On one hand, you have this incredibly powerful idea of fairness and accessibility for everyone. But on the other hand, the predictive models point to a future of just extreme volatility. Which leaves us with this essential trade-off, this huge question. Is wild, unmanaged volatility just the price you have to pay for a truly fair and decentralized system? Or do these massive, gut-wrenching price swings ultimately undermine the entire mission to be a cryptocurrency for everyone? That, right there, is the question at the heart of the XN experiment. And frankly, it's an answer that only time and the market can give us.